Hey you guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be giving you guys our first impressions of the brand new Children of Bodom album, Hexed. So Children of Bodom, back at it with a new album, their first since 2016.
Yep.
Where they released I Worship Chaos. We actually reviewed that album. So check it out if you guys are interested.
It got a toe tag from me, actually.
It almost got, I got a 7.5 from me, yeah, almost.
It was close.
I really like this band. It's a really cool band. I haven't checked them out too much, but from what I've listened to, you know, I listened to Are You Dead Yet, Hate Crew, Death Roll, whatever.
Yep.
And it's just like, I listened to it today and just, you know, blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah, I've loved this band for many years. I know all their stuff. I'm well versed in their entire discography. As far as the singles so far on this album, I'm pretty mixed on my opinion though.
I think overall they're pretty good. I'm going into this album just thinking, you know what, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna give me what I would expect or just something good enough for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that's a little bit more like I Worship Chaos because I really love that album, but I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah,
anyway, we're gonna go listen to it, yep, for the first time in its entirety. And yeah, we'll be back in just a second to give you guys our first impressions of Hexed.
Alright guys, we just finished listening to Hexed for the very first time in its entirety. Now I gotta say that this album is pretty good. It didn't blow me away, I'll say that, just on a first impression. But there was nothing on this album that I really felt was just straight up bad. Like, my lowest rated song was track number 8, Relapse, The Nature of My Crime. And the only issue I had with that song is that it lacked the personality that other songs had. Because there are other songs on this album that have unique things about them, things that stand out, things that are actually like super great. This is one of the cases of, I can't really say much about this song. What do I write? You know, I like, sometimes in albums, a song won't be a bad song, but it won't stand out, so it kind of looks bad in the context of the album, and that's what I feel is the case here.
It's true.
So there just wasn't much to say. Like, the synthesizer in the pre-chorus was interesting, the riffing is neat, not much to say, but the riffing is neat through all the songs.
Yeah.
Like, this is a band notable for having really cool riffs, and that's obviously relevant on this album. Now, my highest rated song was track number 5, Kickin' a Spleen. This is a really good example of if, like, you're sitting at home, like, right next to the door, and someone kicks the whole door down with one kick and shoots you in the face with a shotgun. Because this just blam right in your face.
Yeah.
So much energy, power. I love the riff in this song. It's probably my favorite riff on the album. Going up and down between semitones. I love that kind of motion in my music. And just the transition from guitar to keyboard solo is also really smooth.
That was really cool, yeah.
So, like, aesthetically pleasing to the ear. Just, oh my gosh, it was great. But yeah, a lot of these songs, like, were not getting less than 6s. You know, like, overall, I was entertained throughout this album. What do you have to say?
I guess maybe I judged a little bit more harshly than you because I did give a few songs less than 6. I agree with you about song number 8, Relapse, The Nature of My Crimes. One of my lowest rated songs. A lot of things you said I agree with as well. It did have good riffing, but there just wasn't really anything special about it that jumped out. Although I do appreciate the fact that it sounded different. And that's one thing that I can say about a lot of these songs is that a lot of them sound different. Like, this band has a lot of albums under their belt. They've written a lot of music, and sometimes it gets to the point where bands just, they don't have anything new to the table, bring anything new. But I feel like Bodom this time is still bringing new elements to the table, but also they're still keeping those staples, those staple sounds and signatures that they've always had, that we always know and love. A couple other low rated songs for me. I won't go into too much detail about why I didn't rate them that low, but track number 4, Hecate's Nightmare, had a bit of a different sound for Bodom, some awkward soloing, and the solos to me in that, I mentioned it too, that they sounded weird to me, like they're really high pitched, and they almost seemed like they were out of key or something, but I could be wrong about that.
It sounded fine to me.
Yeah, I don't know, with more listens, maybe there was something up with my perception at the time, I don't know.
I really like the vibe sound on that song. Like, there's like almost a vibraphone kind of mallet sound on the keyboard. I could see that song definitely growing for me. Like, it was good, but I could see it becoming great as the week goes on.
Right, and that was also one of the slower songs too. Probably like, I clocked at about 125 BPM, which wasn't the slowest. Like the slowest one I actually clocked was track number 10, which is another one of my slowest, lower rated songs, Soon Departed, about 105 BPM. Most of the songs were in around the 230 or 240 range,
yeah,
which is pretty good.
200
for me, yeah. But yeah, some of these songs just, it's like, the riffing is good, it's unique, it's original, it's catchy, very catchy riffs, but that's it. The rest of the song just kind of goes, bleh, it is what it is.
What were your thoughts on track number 6, Platitudes and Barren Words? Because that was the second music video we checked out. When we checked it out, you really did not like the song.
Yeah, when we checked out that video the first time I heard it, I blatantly said, that song sucked. Like, those are my words, that sucked. My opinion listening to it now for the second time without the video to distract me was different. I wouldn't say I love the song. It's probably middle of the pack as far as my ratings go, but it kind of reminded me of You're Better Off Dead from Haiku Death Roll. Not exactly sure why, I was just getting a sense of that melody in there and I was vibing with it a little more. So I don't know exactly why I didn't like it the first time I heard it. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mind frame to hear it, or maybe the video distracted me too much, which is something that does happen, right? When you're visually being stimulated by something, you can't pay too much attention to the audio, and vice versa, sometimes. But anyways, I did like it a lot more on my second listen, so hopefully the song's gonna grow on me even more. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid song. The only issue I had with it was the fact that I feel like it got a little overshadowed by Kickin' a Spleen, which was right before, because you have this crazy guns blazing song, and then how does the next one live up to that, right? So I think on its own that song is solid. It just kind of, you know, has to live up to such a great song before it. It kind of struggles a little bit.
It's true. And as good of a song as Kickin' the Spleen is, I actually had an even higher rated song for me personally, and that was track number 3, Glass Houses. This song, I don't even know what to say about it. It's driving, it's riff heavy. It reminded me a bit of Silent Night Bodom Night. I'm pretty sure it's got a tapping riff, which is Silent Night Bodom Night style. One of the most classic, one of my all-time favorite Bodom songs. But there was one thing I liked about it. I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. I'm looking at my notes here. And what I wrote basically was, I love how the lead riff plays over the rhythm riff. Now that's kind of a normal thing that happens, but the way it happens in this song, and in other songs too, but you got the rhythm riff, which sounds really cool and catchy, and the lead riff, which also sounds really cool and catchy. They're overlapped each other, but they're accenting each other and complementing each other so well. And I really like that gel. Like when a song or a band just gels like that, everything's coming together and you're just grooving. You can focus on any part of that music you want to, and you're like, they're hitting it. It's hitting the marks, it's checking all the right boxes. That's what I was getting from that song, and I really love that song. That, to me, I'm pretty sure that's gonna remain my favorite song on the album.
You know, I liked that song too, but there was one thing that just hurt it for me.
The abrupt ending?
No, it was the fact that the solo just didn't blow my mind. Because I'm listening to it, I'm like, this song is awesome. I want there to be a bomb solo. I want the solo to just go nuts and just send it over the top for me. It just didn't do that, unfortunately. I mean, I gave it a 7. Like, still one of the higher rated tracks for this album for me. It just could have been higher if that solo really just knocked it out.
In all fairness, for me personally, on a first impression only, no solo on this album really knocked my socks off, which is not surprising. Like, I love Bodom solos, they're great, but they've never really been at a level where I'm just like, whoa, like that was fucking cool or anything. Minor exception, track number 9, Say Never Look Back. There's a drum solo in this song, which is pretty unique.
Dude, that was a sick solo. I like that a lot.
You don't hear drum solos. You hear fills, you hear licks, you hear, you know, whatever else, little drum diddles or whatever here and there. But this was, I would classify this as a legit solo. You know, the music playing around and stuff like that. It's not like it went silent and the drums just played by themselves.
No, but he did enough to warrant like that's a solo.
It was probably like, I don't know, it's hard to remember, but it was probably 15, 20 seconds of just drum like rolls and fills and stuff. That was cool. That sounded different and fresh to me, and I was like, yes, that's fucking awesome. It stands out. But as far as keyboard and guitar solos go, There's a few that were all right.
Yeah,
cool.
a few of them were pretty notable. I mean, I wrote down, oh, this solo was neat, this solo was neat, but nothing blew my mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't there for me in Glass Houses.
Yeah, another thing with soloing though, for me, is that I have to hear them a few times before I really start to decide for myself personally if I like it or not. Because I gotta feel the vibes of it, and just listening to it for the first time, I'm sitting there with a very critical brain. I'm trying to be judgmental of it, and I might be trying to judge, is it fast enough? Is it stylistic enough? Is it, fitting the song properly? Is it in place? Is it out of place? I'm like just being too critical, and I'm not just enjoying it. So I feel like once I listen to the album more and more and more, and I'm just listening to it in a more leisure way, I start to appreciate things like solos a lot more. So hopefully I'll start being able to pinpoint and pick out different solos on the album that are really shine.
Yeah, I think this album is going to be a really good one to listen to throughout the week, because not only is it entertaining when you're really trying to pick it apart, but it's also going to be entertaining, when listening to it leisurely. Like, I think this is, on a first impression, this is a good album already. So anyway, we're going to be listening to this album non-stop for the next week, and we'll be back for our final review of Hexed to tell you guys what we think and rate the album. Anyway, that's all we got for you guys today. Remember to comment, tell us what you think of the album, what do you think of the singles. We want to know. Comment in the comments below. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We are so close to 10,000 subscribers, so please help us get there. We're almost there. I can taste it. Anyway, I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
We'll see you guys.